Taraja was kind enough to pull out one of her favorite lessons for us, so we're actually going to take a look at some of the worms in the vermiculture lesson, right?
Yes.
All right, so tell us all about the worms, live worms, right here on YouTube.
These are called red wriggler worms, and they're used mainly for vermicomposting. I really enjoy talking about the differences between earthworms and red wriggler worms. What? Because there are significant differences, but I think a lot of people, including myself, didn't really know. We don't really know the difference. We just see worms and we think, oh, worms.
Yeah.
You know.
So what is the difference?
So some of the differences between earthworms and wriggler worms are that wriggler worms don't burrow the same way that earthworms do. Earthworms love burrowing in the soil, and that's how they enrich the soil, right? They burrow deep beneath all the soil, and they aerate it. They leave their own castings, which eventually enriches the soil over time. Red wriggler worms don't burrow in the same way. They do like to be in the darkness. You can
yeah, you can see all of them disappeared.
Yeah. They do like to be in darkness. They do like to be moist in the same way that earthworms do. But they generally stay on top, and they eat all of the lawn clippings or foodstuffs that you put in there from the top of the soil.
So what do these program animals, as it were, what do they get fed?
They get fed, I'd say, banana peels. There's some pieces of avocado in here. Avocado peels, apple cores, I think lawn clippings every now and then. And we use the cardboard material just to give them a place to burrow under, so they can have a dark space. Yeah.
Is there anything you shouldn't put in a vermiculture compost bin?
Definitely. So the same rules for vermicomposting that apply for normal compost bins apply for vermicomposting. So, no meat and dairy.
Right.
It smells really bad.
Yeah.
Nothing too stinky as far as I've researched. So maybe not cabbage. Just a lot of veggies, brown material, leaves, yard clippings, and such.
Do they do okay with things that have like acid or other more like chemically compound things like coffee grounds and lemons and things?
Not as far as I know. Yeah.
So when you bring the worms into your after school program, what exactly does that sort of lesson look like?
Basically, we give them a blue tray like this. We dump a pile of worms, and we give them some questions or prompts to go through, and we just let them explore. They have magnifying glasses. Sometimes we have digital microscopes to bring in, which are microscopes on tablets. And we just let them explore. We just let them see what they can find. We do some basic worm anatomy, too, occasionally.
Yeah. But this is more of like it's less like lesson-y and more just like a chance to explore and interact.
Yeah, it's more of a, it's a real hands-on lesson. You have your hands in the compost with the worms. It's all up to you what you find.
Yeah, I love that. Wow. What is your favorite thing about teaching this lesson?
Just seeing them get really brave with the soil and the compost and worms.
Yeah.
Just seeing them towards the end of the lesson, picking up worms like, oh, I can see this one body part, just being really brave. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. And it's brave partially because maybe a lot of these students haven't done this before?
Yeah, a lot of these students, a lot of my students at least, are really afraid of bugs and don't really like playing in the dirt as much, and so this is my way of letting them get dirty, play in the dirt, play in the soil.
Is this a lesson that a lot of them talk about days or weeks afterwards too? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually did this lesson with some of my students in the previous semester, and they asked me a few days after, when are you bringing the worms back?
Oh. So they liked it enough they wanted to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so does this lesson include talking about the difference between dirt and soil, but also, like, what is the difference between dirt and soil versus, like, compost?
Versus compost.
Yeah.
As far as I know, this is a little bit of a quicker process since you have live vermin, right, composting, instead of leaving it in a bin just in your backyard and having to turn it. The worms do a lot of the aerating for you. So it's just a little more, it's easier to manage, right? Yeah. So you don't have to watch over it as much. You kind of let it be, feed it every now and then, turn the compost every now and then, let it be.
And I feel like a lot of people think that compost, like, oh, I wouldn't want to have a compost pile because it smells bad, right? But this is not rotting, which is what stinks, right? Like compost is something different, right? What do you guys, like, do you use the compost for something, or?
I think here for 4-H, we don't really use the compost except for educational purposes. The other program that we share a building with actually has their own compost bins outside that don't have worms in them. But our vermicompost is just used for education.
For teaching.
Yeah.
Thanks so much to Taraja Oliver for showing us the 4-H Capital vermiculture lesson from the Natural Resources team. If this job sounds like fun to you, check out a link in the video description. 4-H Capital is hiring. I'd also like to thank Dr. Brooke Miller for arranging my visit to 4-H Capital, coordinating all of the interviews, and being an amazing host during my time in Austin. Thanks also to AJ Fillo of MostlyEnginerd for being my cameraman for all of my Austin videos this spring. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it. If you didn't like this video, please share it with someone who would. And if you'd like to support the Roving Naturalist, remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.